Even during uncertain times, time marches on. So if you're thinking about a 4-year degree, it's time to take a closer look at SVSU. It's time to join the 90% of our students who aren't paying full tuition thanks to scholarships and grants. It's time to get a degree that pays you back through a solid career that will be waiting for you on the other side. Just ask the 97% of our alumni who find one after graduation. It's time to enjoy the safety of a beautiful campus, nestled in a quiet valley and home to the highest ranked dorms in the nation. Time waits for no one. We're being safe. Our classes are small and our hope for the future is big. The choice is yours. The time is now. The school is Saginaw Valley State University. Enroll today.
At SVSU, we are here to support you on your academic journey and to help you reach your goals. With over 90 undergraduate majors and minors, you have a wide variety of options for what you want to study. One of the most important elements of your academic career is developing an understanding of your degree requirements. We have a team of professional staff and peer advisors ready to assist you with any questions you have about degree planning, course selection, registering for classes, choosing a major or minor, and connecting you with campus resources. These peer advisors, like myself, are undergraduate and graduate students at SVSU who are trained in general academic advising specifically for first-year students. Our primary goal as academic advisors is to help you understand your degree found within your student portal called My SVSU. And to help you make the best choices to meet these requirements, we are available for both in-person and online appointments that best fit your schedule. All first-year students must meet with a peer advisor or professional advisor at least once during their first year for your SOAR Plus appointment and the final part of your orientation requirements. In addition to your specific major requirements, all students must satisfy basic skills course requirements for mathematics, reading, and writing. Placement or exemption is determined by ACT, SAT, or placement test results. All students must also complete general education requirements. This includes 35 credit hours in 10 different categories. If you're undecided about your major, we provide Focus, a free assessment tool to help you discover possible majors based on your interests and skills. No matter where you are in your academic journey, our friendly academic advisors are here to help you every step of the way. When you need help with your classes, we also have free tutoring services available in the Gerstacker Learning Commons.
Located on the second floor of the Zanow Library, the Gerstacker Learning Commons is home to 3 tutoring centers: the Center for Academic Achievement, the Math and Physics Resource Center, and the Writing Center. Each center is staffed by trained undergraduate tutors and professional tutors who provide free support for all students, both online and face-to-face. Here, a student can find a tutor to help them succeed in almost any class at SVSU. The Center for Academic Achievement provides support for a wide variety of subjects, including accounting, economics, and statistics, as well as biology and chemistry, and most general education and humanities courses. Here, tutors can help students improve their reading, studying, test-taking, and time management skills. And if needed, this center offers a number of course textbooks and computers for students to use. The Math and Physics Resource Center provides individual and group tutoring sessions designed to help students succeed in their 100 and 200 level mathematics and physics courses. Students have access to computers, calculators, and course textbooks on site. Students can also participate in supplemental review sessions for select courses. The Writing Center helps students with writing assignments for any class. Trained tutors work one-on-one with students to brainstorm, draft, and revise their papers. The Writing Center also provides handouts and videos on documentation styles used in most classes. Throughout the year, this center offers a variety of writing workshops too. Making an appointment with a tutor is easy. Students can simply go to Gerstacker Learning Commons webpage at svsu.edu/learningcommons and click on the name of the center they would like to visit. Appointments occur in real time, either face-to-face or online. At the Gerstacker Learning Commons, all the tutors help students better understand assignments, complete homework, prepare for tests, and master complex reading and writing tasks. Whether a student wants to maintain a high GPA or get help with a difficult class or assignment, The Center for Academic Achievement, the Math and Physics Resource Center, and the Writing Center are here to help all students because our tutors are dedicated to student success.
For additional help with research papers, we also have the Research Center located on the first floor of the Zanow Library. You can receive assistance in person or through our library chat, text, and email services. At SVSU, we want to support you in every step that we can to help you succeed and make the most of your academic opportunities we provide. We know that navigating college courses and scheduling can be overwhelming. So when you are here to make the process easier and answer any questions you may have, when you attend SOAR, our first year orientation, you will meet with academic advisors who will assist you in scheduling your first year classes. To register for and to secure your preferred orientation date, please visit svsu.edu/orientation. Hopefully this video answers some of your questions about the academic support services at SVSU. But please, feel free to share your additional questions in the chat. Go Cards!
Hello everyone, and welcome to our virtual Valley visit. Today we're going to be talking all about academic support at SVSU. Feel free to submit any questions that you have into the chat, and we'll answer them the best that we can. My name is Danielle, and tonight I'm joined by Tyler, one of our student experts and academic advisors here at SVSU. So Tyler, why don't you take a second and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Tyler. I'm a fourth year exercise science major from Miami, Florida. On campus, I'm involved in Forever Red, pre-physical therapy, a Student Exercise Science Association, and I'm a tour guide with Club Red for the admissions office.
That's great. Well, why don't we start off with explaining what a degree audit is and how our students can use that.
So a degree audit is very much like an outline of what you can expect to major in. So we start with basic skills, and then we go into general education, where we touch upon all the different areas, and then we go into everything regarding your major, minor, touching upon upper division credits and different electives you can choose while you're here.
Yeah, I thought it was really nice to have all of those requirements in just one location where I could just go to the link and it would have all of my specific requirements for me and what I'd completed, and you'd see green every time you completed something, so the degree audit is definitely very helpful. So, how does someone register for classes?
Registering for classes is really easy. You can sit down with one of our peer advisors like myself or a faculty advisor, and you can go through your student planning portal in MySVSU, and you go through and pick the classes you need for your major, your minor. If you're working on any certifications, you just go through, pick the day and time that works best for you, and then you register right there on your student portal.
That's great. And how do students find out when they register?
So the easiest way is to check the registrar's website or on the academic advising website, where we publish the days and times that you can register based on the credit hours you've already completed.
Great. And now, what are some things for students to keep in mind when they're scheduling their classes and, figuring out their course load?
The best thing to do is think about what you're going to be doing throughout the semester. So if you want to get involved on campus, be involved in clubs. If you're going to work a campus job, you always want to be mindful on how many credit hours you take, and then account for how many hours you're going to be studying. That way you don't overload yourself and you're stressing come midterm or finals.
Yes, it's definitely good not to overload yourself, especially in your first year. So now, one thing that I thought was really helpful when I was, scheduling for classes is the first year, you get to schedule with academic advisors during orientation. So can you talk a little bit about how that process works?
Yep, so for example, when you show up for orientation, we already have your fall schedule for you, but you get to sit down with an academic advisor or peer advisor, and we will sit down and look at what your major is, and we will guide you and help lead you through picking your classes. So that way you can pick the classes that work best with your schedule. So for example, if you're a student athlete, we're not going to book you during your practice time. We're going to allow you to have some break in between practices so that you can have a meal or snack. but also, get involved on campus while you're here.
Yeah, that process is super helpful. And for me, I was a student athlete, so it was great coming in and having a schedule blocked off, but then working with that advisor and saying, hey, my practice times are here, so why don't we switch these couple classes? And they definitely made that really easy, which was great. So once you get past your initial, registering for classes, how does advising work for the rest of that first year?
So it's great. So we help you with anything you need help with. So if you're having trouble in a class, we can help connect you to the resources on campus, like the Tutoring Center, where if you're struggling in math, we can help connect you with a tutor. If you need to reschedule classes for the next semester because you have too many credit hours this semester, we can help wind you down a little bit so that you still feel comfortable and welcomed on campus without having to feel so stressed about your classes. And we help you do degree planning for the next either 2 to 4 years or your entire time at SVSU. We can help plan your degree out semester by semester, class by class.
Yeah, that's great, especially if you know that you have a certain amount of time that you want to finish college in. Like, let's say you're like, no, I really want to finish in 4 years. Then it's great because that advisor can really lay out your plans for you. So now we have a question coming in. Now, if someone has their orientation online rather than in person, how did they meet with an advisor during that orientation process?
So rather than meeting with an advisor in person, you'll get to meet with them virtually. So we have time allotted so that you can get time with a faculty advisor so that you can sit down and you can kind of voice your opinion. So if you have a certain routine, so you're not a morning person, we're not going to try to schedule you for the earliest class in the morning. We're going to work with you just like we would if you were in an in-person orientation.
Yeah, it's great that even though, if your orientation is online, you can't make it on campus, we still have that where you get to talk virtually a little bit like this. It'll just have a screen between you. So then, for the rest of the year, are students required to meet with an academic advisor, or is it more of their preference?
So during their first year at SVSU, they are required to meet with an advisor at least once during the academic year, either in the fall or winter, and that's just so we can check in and make sure they're doing good in their classes, but also make sure that we can lay out a plan so that they know what they're taking going forward, because we don't like to be uncertain, especially when it involves our future. So we like to sit down and just make sure students are comfortable. That way, come registration for the following year, they feel comfortable taking their next classes.
Yeah, it's definitely recommended to meet with those advisors as much as you can. I was recently talking to some freshmen that we have from this year and asking them, what do you wish you knew or what was your biggest advice? And one of those things they said was, stick with your advisor, like meet with them, talk to them. They will make the process so much easier, and that's definitely true. So then, do students have an assigned advisor, or can it kind of be anyone?
They can meet with anyone in the academic advising office. If they've met with an advisor before, they can request to be advised by them again. I've had a couple of students who I've liked working with for their SOAR Plus requirements, and they've come back with little questions here or there. It's like, hey, Tyler, can you look over my schedule? Am I still taking all the right classes? Does my next year's schedule look good? So you're not required to meet with anybody. It's based on who you like working with, and then just going forward, if you feel comfortable with all the advisors, you can just pick anybody.
That's great. Yeah, there's a lot of options where you can either meet with someone you've talked to before, or, if you had a busy schedule, then you can figure it out and meet with whoever. So for students that took classes, college classes in high school, how does that work for them to be able to figure out, how those credits transfer over?
So what will happen is, when they apply to SVSU, they can submit their transcripts, or they'll usually submit their final transcripts when they graduate high school, and we'll go through and evaluate those. So if they've taken dual enrollment credits or AP exams, we'll go through and see if those credits will count towards college classes, and we'll give them credit for any class or exam that they've passed that apply to our classes here at SVSU.
Yeah, I found that process really great of being able to transfer in credits, and it's definitely a nice feeling to get to come in with credits if you took those in high school. And if not, then it's great because you get to take all of your classes at SVSU, and your advisors can kind of help you out either way. So now, if someone doesn't know what to major in, they've got something picked, but they're not sure if that's what they want to stick with, or they're undecided, what do those students do?
That's a great question. So they've got a couple different options. I myself was undecided when I originally applied to SVSU. So the first thing I did was, look at the different programs that SVSU offered. So we have about 90, so you have a wide variety to choose from. So you can start by either taking just gen ed classes that you come in with, and then you can also take what we call the focus assessment. So I like to say that's a really big personality test where we look at your interests, hobbies, any skills or jobs you've held before, and we put it all together and we kind of analyze it, and it spits out possible career fields and what you can do going forward in your life. And we can sit down and we can look at those careers and see what majors or minors we have available to help you pursue that direction or career.
Yeah, it's great to have some of those tests that can really give you some direction if you're undecided. And let's say now a student picks a major, but they want to switch. How does that process work?
So they can work with the department that they're looking to switch into, or they can come to the academic advising office, and we can sit down and walk them through a new degree audit on what classes may transfer over if they're switching their major, and what their new path or outline looks towards this major. So they can do this at any time they make up their mind, whether it be a major or minor. We can go through and help them in their process going forward.
Yeah, and it's really great in your first couple years with our basic skills classes and a lot of our general education classes. Those are applicable all across the board. So you can take those classes and know that they're going to apply towards your degree audit, no matter what major you choose, which is definitely a great feeling if you don't know exactly what you want to do yet. So Tyler, I've got a personal question for you, because you mentioned when we started that you came from Miami, Florida, and we've got students from all over here at SVSU. So how did that work? How did you make it to SVSU from Miami?
So I didn't just spin a magic wheel and drop a pin in the middle of Michigan. I knew about SVSU through my family. Both my parents attended SVSU, so I'm a legacy student. So I was very familiar with campus, growing up. My parents shared their stories and experiences at SVSU. So before I even really knew or was thinking about college, I already had that red pride kind of flowing through my veins. So when I started looking at universities, I saw SVSU and just how welcoming the staff and the environment and just how overall friendly and campus was. And so when I walked around on my tour, I just fell in love with campus, the size, the environment, and just overall friendliness and family aspect.
Well, that's awesome that you made it here from so far, and being a legacy student, that's so great too. We love seeing red pride kind of all over the country. So how has your overall experience kind of been here, both from an academic side of things and just in general?
It's been great. I'm not going to lie, I was a little scared when I made that transition from Florida to Michigan. A lot of people think I'm crazy because I left the warmth and sunny beaches for the snow and cold here in Michigan, but I really like it because that small family aspect in terms of like my classes and just clubs on campus. I really feel valued, so I can walk across campus, and whether it's for class or involved in student organizations, I can see my friends and always know somebody walking from class to class, or when I decide to go to any of the campus dining locations, I always have somebody to talk to, or I can just sneak into the library and always have a friend or somebody studying in there I can study with.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to you on being a little scared to come here. I was only from 2 hours away, but even for me, it still felt like such a big adjustment to be coming to college. I can't even imagine from across the country, but I'm so happy that you felt so welcome here early, because that's the experience I had too, where I was definitely a nervous freshman coming in, but luckily between my RAs and my roommates and everybody I met, I just really felt like this was home really early on, and it was definitely welcoming, which is so nice to have. So you've been here for a few years. What is your advice to these, to freshman students or incoming students about, things that you wish you knew before you got to college, or just any advice you have for them?
I would say my best advice is don't stress out too much. you're going to figure things out as you go through. You don't need to know all the answers from day one. There's going to be a lot of people there to help you and support you along your way. I thought, coming from Florida, not knowing anybody, that it all kind of fell on my shoulders. But, with the faculty and staff at SVSU, it really is like a family. So, you start to fall behind in a class, or, you're not having the best day. There's always somebody on campus, or your friends, somebody around in the student community to really step up and help you. So that's why we kind of have the saying, it's like a great day to be a Cardinal, because every day there's something new, and there's always a great experience that you're going to get.
Yeah, it's great to know that when you're here, you've got so many people looking out for you and trying to make that effort to help you in any way that you can. So we're going to take a quick break, and we have a poll for all of you. So we're going to take just a couple minutes, and you'll see a poll come across your screen. So take a second and answer that for us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you so much for answering our poll. So, Tyler, you were an orientation leader as well. And now I know that peer advising is one of those aspects that we have, but what else is a day at orientation like?
I would really like that question because orientation gives you a real snapshot or a preview, I like to say, of what it's like to be a Cardinal at SVSU. So during orientation, one of my favorite aspects is that's your first introduction to other students coming to SVSU, because the day is just full of icebreakers. So if you like playing games, being outside, it's a great opportunity to meet other students. And for me, that was a great aspect coming from Florida. I didn't know anybody. So I got to meet a whole bunch of friends, some of which I still know today. And going through the day, we got to learn about, the different offices and resources on campus. So if we wanted a campus job, we attended a presentation by Career Services. We went through student life, where we got to learn about all the organizations on campus. So if there's any interest or hobby you have, there's pretty much a club for it here on campus. If there isn't, we can always create a new one. So it's just a fun-filled day where you can get involved, not only kind of register for classes, but just get a glimpse and start your future on campus in terms of meeting people and what you can do.
Yeah, orientation is definitely a fun day, and if you're doing it online, we've got a lot of ways for you to interact and have fun too. So now when students get into classes. They're here and they're, day in and day out, they're going to classes. What are some of your tips for how to do well in classes and resources that we have here on campus to help?
Some tips I have are go to class and pick a seat next to somebody you either know or don't know, because there's kind of an unspoken rule here in college where whatever seat you pick that first day, first week of classes, that's going to be your seat going forward. We don't really like to break our routines, so always pick a seat next to somebody so you always have somebody to talk to in class and about class assignments. And then always set time aside after class for you to study. Even though there's always something to do in terms of fun events on campus, you always want to put a section aside for yourself to study. That way you're not stressing about tests or exams going on. And then if you are stressing about your tests or exams, we have the Tutoring Center so that you can get help with that. We have individualized study rooms in the library. So if you need a quiet space to study with your friends, you can just reserve one of those on campus. So it's great. You can just pop in, pop out, or you can just find a computer lab on campus and just hang out in there and do your homework, work on projects, presentations. So there's really a whole bunch of areas on campus you can just section out with your friends and just study and hang out while you're prepping or getting ready for classes.
Yeah, it's really great to be able to study in the library, and especially we have a 4-story library, which is awesome because there's a lot of different areas that you can utilize. So can you kind of explain to someone who maybe hasn't been to our library before kind of what's on all the different floors?
Yeah, so on the first floor we have our, our welcome center. So if you ever feel like studying one of the study rooms, which are located on all 4 floors, we have, markers, laptops, and even, printers available for students to print stuff out. I like to say we have a laptop lounge. So if you need to use a computer, you forgot your computer in your dorm, you could use that, as well as the research center. So if you're working on a paper, you need to cite your sources or pull up any, evidence-based or resources, you can use that for your papers. We have the IT center, and then going to the second floor, that's where we have all of our tutoring centers. So our math and physics tutoring center, reading and writing center, and our Center for Academic Achievements, where you can literally get help with any class that you're in, either by a student tutor or a professor who's working with students. And then we have the third floor where we have our testing center, and then just a whole bunch of space for you to sprawl out with your friends. I like it because there's a little cafe lounge, so that's my favorite spot on campus to just relax and study. And then the fourth floor, it's great because that's, I like to say, like the quiet floor. So if you can't, you need, absolute silence when, studying, it's a great quiet spot. Especially come, the evening when we have a sunset across campus. It's a perfect spot to, take photos, just lounge around, look across campus, and there's even some lounge chairs if you would like to take a nap.
Yeah, the library is so great because no matter how you study best, there's somewhere for you, whether you want to study in one of our group rooms where you're closed off and there's a big whiteboard on the wall and you can have your whole group working in there, or you need to work alone completely in silence, or you want to sit in a comfy chair. There's lots of options to kind of adapt to however you study best. And using the tutoring center was definitely something helpful for me. And I think a big part of that is just reaching out to the people and the resources that you have. Because for me, one of those biggest secrets to success that I think people don't realize sometimes is talking to your professors, after classes and going to office hours. So can you kind of explain how important that is and how helpful it is for students to be able to do those things?
Yeah, it's, greatly important because, you may not understand a lecture, or, if they're teaching PowerPoint, you're more of a hands-on learner. You can utilize those office hours to go and talk with your professor. So you can go through lectures, homework assignments, projects, and it's great because I've had professors who, have set extra time aside, outside their normal office hours because my classes conflicted with their normal office hours. So it's great how they're able to go out of their way to really help you succeed and make sure you're understanding all the content. That way you're better prepared. And it's the same thing with the tutoring center. We've always got tutors available. If you got a tutor who you really become friends with, and you like them, you can always request that they be your tutor, whether it be a student or faculty or a professional tutor, like a professor. It's really great because you could even have your class professor be the person tutoring you in the library.
Yeah, I know it can seem, especially as an incoming student, a little scary and intimidating to go talk to your professors, but they really are so nice and so helpful. And I know that everyone that does that, they say it helps them so much to, it's just nice to have a conversation with your professor. They can explain things better, and it's just so nice to have that extra resource there. So in addition to kind of school and studying, we have a lot of hands-on experiences too that you can get to learn both in and out of the classroom. Have you had any of those experiences, Tyler, whether it be, research, jobs, internships, anything like that?
I've had a lot of jobs here on campus. So, being a tour guide, being a peer advisor, I'm even a college transition mentor. I've had a lot of hands-on experience socializing with students, and that's very important for me going into the field of healthcare, is making those personal connections with people. And then in my classes within the Health and Human Services building, I've had the opportunity to use some, of the leading equipment that we have in the field of exercise science to, practice and get used to, so that, come graduation and I go into the real world, I know what I'm doing and I'm not so nervous, about somebody running on a treadmill. And then, it's great because I can even pick up additional certifications that aren't typically offered during our normal class times.
It's so nice to have those hands-on experiences because it really just makes you feel so much more prepared. And then you get to learn, from the textbook and your lectures, but then you get to apply that, all the theories that you're learning, and do it before you even graduate, which is so helpful going into the workforce. So, Tyler, what is something that you wish you knew about college classes, or just, taking college classes in general before you got here?
I wish I knew how relaxing they were. Coming in, I was, completely stressed. I was like, this is, a totally different experience from high school because, there's no one here to tell me. It's like, make sure you do your work. A lot of it's on you. So I got to say, the biggest things is, being able to manage your time because, instead of just going to all the fun things on campus, you have to be able to sit down and be like, okay, I got to study right now. I can't go to this event, but there's another event going on later. So, there's always something for you to do, but, just the relaxing environment and just how, relaxing and nice it is to talk with your professors. They're humans just like us. You can talk to them before or after class. And then with our class sizes, it's really comfortable to raise your hand and ask a question.
Yeah, they really make class an enjoyable experience to go to. Like, you want to go and it's exciting, and having those small class sizes definitely made me feel more comfortable to talk and participate in class because those professors really do make it interactive, which is great. And so, what are some of your tips for managing your time? Because I know that, like you said, that is huge. And for me, it was a planner. That was always, I have to write things down and check off the list. But what are some of your tips, or what do you do to help manage your time?
The biggest thing I do is my planner. That's the first thing I get every school year, is make sure I have a nice big planner, and then plenty of pens to make sure I can write and organize stuff. So other than the planner, I gotta say the biggest thing you can do is just create a routine. So for example, if you're gonna study after class, make it a consistent thing that you're gonna do. You can vary it up week to week, be either studying alone or with friends, but just have that schedule. You can just get in that routine. It's like, okay, after this class, I know I'm going to grab lunch and then study after that, or I'm going to go to the rider and work out. Just have that routine and schedule. That way, as things come up, you can adapt and you're not losing track of time.
Yeah, that routine is definitely helpful to help keep things all in track and in order. And it's great too because you want to make sure that you're building in time to sleep and to eat and to go to the rider and use all of those facilities too, so you don't just end up getting overwhelmed in classes. You got to spread that out a little bit and get the balance. Well, I think those are all the questions that we have for tonight. Thank you all so much for joining us, and thank you especially to Tyler. We're going to have one more Virtual Valley next week, all about student life on campus. So you'll get to hear all about our engaging campus life, our Red Pride, and all of the fun things you get to do here. So remember that we are also offering in-person campus tours. So if you haven't seen our campus yet, or you want to come back and see it again, we are offering those and have them available, especially as the weather's starting to get nice. Campus in spring is so beautiful. We also have some showcases for select academic programs coming up, so make sure you check out our website for those too, because you can learn a little bit more about all of our different programs. So then you can even be more prepared when you're coming in for your academic advising appointment. So there's still time to join us this weekend too to learn more about psychology if you're interested in that. We have criminal justice coming up too for some of those showcases. And we just added additional ones in April for undecided majors and pre-health. So we got a little bit of everything, and if you're not sure, there's stuff for you too. But it's so great to start learning about those things early and to start thinking about what you want to do and what you want to study, because that makes it even easier once you get here. So thank you all again so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you at our other showcases here on campus too, and at our next Virtual Valley visit. So have a great night and go Cards!